Where'd you go? Come here.
Who, me?
Oh, if I could slam my controller on the ground by accident.
And it stopped working. Unfortunately.
No. So, now to play the most nerf character that just got the patches.
So, speaking of walking on eggshells, I found the nail that I lost.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, Great Wills. We got it. So what are you? Like a fledgling, like, demigod or something like that? That's an unnatural one. It's the winds of destiny.
Meh.
What the hell is his name? Rajin from fucking Mortal Kombat?
Fujin is from Mortal Kombat.
Fujin's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Fujin's from Mortal Kombat. Rashid is from Street Fighter.
I was thinking Fujin.
They're both the type to use wind,
yeah. Oh, that's kind of odd, but I just managed to combine two characters that happen to have wind abilities.
I know, right? It's a weird surprise.
Well, hello, Cyberdoor.
So we got a Stargate going on here?
It really kind of looks like a Stargate too. That's the sad part. This is your disheveled look? It's like you just woke up out of bed.
Yo, fabulous Nerf dad.
Seriously.
The Nerf.
I'm telling you, man, that Capcom Nerf pipe comes down hard.
That wasn't even a Capcom Nerf pipe.
I know, our system borrowed it.
No, that wasn't even a Capcom Nerf pipe. See, when Capcom nerfs something, they nerf it, and it still somehow works by bullshit means, even if they nerf it. When Arc System nerfs something, they just Potemkin just kind of slides in the frame and grabs you.
I still like my fucking. I still like my Nerf pipe. I'm not gonna lie. Like the Mike Hager running around with a fucking Nerf pipe is the funniest thing to me.
Like, the sad part is he didn't even get hit with the pipe.
Well, yeah, of course, because he's holding the pipe.
No, wait. Let me rephrase that. They didn't hit him with the pipe. He hit the pipe over and over again. They literally set the pipe in one spot and just kept just grabbed this man and just whack him into it.
Oh, hey, they got all 3 Fridays on Netflix.
Oh, neat. I've also seen all 3 Fridays on TV simultaneously, as well as all 3 RoboCops. That was actually on earlier today.
Well, unpopular opinion. I think RoboCop 2 is the best RoboCop. Yeah. I kind of like RoboCop 2. Yeah. Well, no, because like fucking everybody always goes on about how RoboCop 1 was this like groundbreaking fucking movie. It was. Don't misunderstand. I'm not taking anything away from RoboCop 1, but a lot of what they said about RoboCop 2 is it misses the point of RoboCop 1, and it's like I don't agree with that.
Where is K?
Mm-hmm. Like, I will say, RoboCop 2 is more cartoony than RoboCop 1. I will fully agree with that.
It is. It is.
Because,
let us introduce RoboCop 2, just screeching while taking your head off.
Oh god, the fucking RoboCop 2s were the best.
What? Stop in the name of the law.
There was even that one where it's like you just see the screen fucking come out, and he fucking just screams, shoots the guard to the left and right of him, then shoots himself. It's like, yep, this is that kind of movie. But I think RoboCop. I think I like RoboCop 2 mostly because like it was a closer fight by comparison of like the protagonist versus the antagonist.
Right. Okay, for what it's worth, in RoboCop 1, when the dude kind of drove into the toxic waste, that is as a kid, that is the most horrifying thing I've seen because dude was melting.
Yeah.
Straight up in mid melting. Like, this man looked like an action figure when you leave it on a stove. This man was just in the most.
Yeah, there were 6 antagonists in Robo 1. He's not wrong. But there's so many fucking antagonists in Robo 1.
Like, my man's was melting. His everything hurt. His literal clothes looked like they were in pain. Like, this man was just melting to halfway melted and they just stopped. Like, this man is just died.
Well, then he got turned into puke at the end of it.
He just splattered when they hit him. Like, like, kid, that was like the most horrifying thing I've seen as a kid. Like,
well, then there was also the whole thing where fucking like what was it? You had RoboCop walking on water, which is the dumbest thing, but sure, why not?
Yeah.
Clarence wasn't stupid to take on Murphy himself. It was a group effort. Then there's Ed and Dick. No, I mean, no, fucking Clarence. I'm not even arguing. Like Clarence and the whole gang. Like, yeah, fucking Clarence was not an idiot. Fucking, he clearly had an understanding of how the system worked.
Manipulating accordingly.
Right, and then fucking you got Ed and Dick, who are basically fucking two fucking like high-end fucking white-collar fucking socialites fucking trying to outdo each other. When one failed, the other one was just ready there to fucking cut throat. I mean, we're talking some Enron fucking shit going on up in here.
I mean, that's a brutal little business in general. If one person screws up, you're gonna come in real quick trying to take their limelight to like, oh, by the way, since they failed, I got this thing that won't fail.
Oh, no, that was Robert. Excuse me.
Ed was the...
Ed 209. Yeah. Ed 209, I don't even really count as a antagonist for one, because like literally he was little more than a pawn. He was just he was a whacking stick. No, I like Ed 209. I will defend this. I like Ed 209. I think he's a fun character, but he's also not really a character. That's the problem.
He's literally Ed is just kind of there to be there.
But he's a beating stick.
Identify yourself. You have 10 seconds to comply.
Product of Dick? No, it's an extension of Dick. I'm not apologizing for that.
Enough dicking around, alright?
But it was from Dick's failure that the other man was able to rise.
You're going balls deep on that one, ain't you?
A little bit.
I always had Swiftmaster as Uranus because they're actually described as a very androgynous character, and it fucking shows.
Well, it kind of reminds me of like Knights.
Yeah, Knights is also an androgynous character, but Uranus was the primordial deity of the wind and sky, and there's some similarities there.
I can see it. Like how Olog is an extension of Loki. Yeah, and I could kind of see that argument. I want my balls back! Well, technically, all the Hollow Wars are an extension of Loki at this point.
It's okay, Uranus. It's okay. I know. I want him back. Well,
Jesus. And this is before the fucking weird bullshit flight combo bull.
This is after the nerf. Because even in the Greek mythos, Uranus was described as an androgynous, but had an androgynous body type with aspects of male and female. Even prior to said castration. from an asshole wielding a weapon that wasn't even theirs.
Where are my testicles, Kronos?
The weapon wasn't even... that part is... The way I have it written, how Chrono had the sickle, it wasn't even meant to be used as a weapon.
Okay. Well, originally a sickle was never meant to be used as a weapon.
It really is never really meant to be used as a weapon. It was
It's a farming tool.
It is a farming tool. But so is a scythe.
Yeah. And so are nunchucks.
Yeah. A lot of... It's surprising how a lot of things were originally farming tools that actually became... somewhat practical
weaponry.
weapon. Yeah, practical, impractical weaponry, depending on the context of how we're going with. But the way I had the sickle, how it was technically originally used by Elias, he used it to shave off the scales, like the harder scales.
Okay. So that kind of brings up an interesting conversation. It's like, you know, do dragons have like a covering plate?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about hardening scales, or are we talking about Red Rocket territory?
No, if you get into Red Rocket territory, that's more of reverse scales, because those are actually more sensitive to sort of touch of any sort of kind or whatever stimuli.
Dio's freeballing.
Of course, Dio's freeballing. I mean, I'm kind of freeballing right now because it's summer-ish.
In the summertime.
You know, swamp balls and swamp ass is not exactly a fun thing.
I live in Missouri. I know what it's like.
Right, but you know, dragons tend to be, their scales tend to be more or less layered on top of each other.
I fairly figure it's something akin to a snake. Whereas, like,
yeah, well, technically a snake's scales in itself isn't exactly layered. They're just really tightly packed upon each other.
Yeah. But I've heard something akin to that, except it's like, you know, around the joints and stuff, that's where they'd probably overlap.
What joints are on a snake, sir?
I'm not talking about snakes, I'm talking about a dragon.
But you said, like, the scales would be more like a snake.
Right. Along the longer section, so like across the back and stuff like that. But then once you get to like the joints and stuff like that, I figured they'd probably overlap there.
Yeah, they would more or less overlap there and tend to be more, I guess, like spikes to a degree, depending on species of dragon, of course.
Well, it depends on how you fucking kind of phrase dragons. It's like, you know,
depending on the species of dragon.
Well, yes, no. I mean, are we talking about D&D logic? We're talking Dragon Riders of Pern logic. You know, where do you want to go with this? See what I mean?
See, now you're just trying to split hairs, because, like, well...
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's by universe definition.
Well, because even JRR even took a lot of things from D&D from what he said.
Well, yeah, and he also made up a bunch of shit, too. Like, there wasn't a fucking de facto elven language until JR.
Exactly, and they actually started incorporating that in D&D because JRR, and because D&D will add in more stuff according to it. Like, oh, the fans did a thing. We're going to add into what the fans basically did to that to do a thing.
Right.
So that's how most of the actual races in D&D became playable. By like the 4th iteration going into later ones.
Shit, we're on fucking iteration 5, so at least.
Well, 5.3.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah, because like with 5.3, it gave us Ultra Instinct Shaggy as an actual boss monster. But yeah, like majority of what people do with, other than the actual historical lore from various other mythos and things, people tend to grab dragon inspiration from D&D of like varying kinds.
Well, yeah, and like I said, but then it's like, then you get into the whole thing, it's like we're talking Western dragons, we're talking Eastern dragons, we're talking amalgamation, or we're talking species related, you know, again, it's like, it comes in splitting hairs, yes, but that's kind of what we're talking
about
here.
It varies from species depending on which one you're trying to go with.
I'm talking about species from sources. D&D species are different from, like, you know, for instance, Tolkien dragons.
No, Tolkien got most of his majority of going around in circles again.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, though.
Like Tolkien with his inspirations of dragons, he actually said himself he got most of his ideas from D&D.
Well, yeah, but D&D also drew its ideas from like both Eastern and Western cultures.
Dragons. Yeah, because with Eastern cultures of dragons, the way their scales are actually. Well, you see Spirits of the Way and how Hockey flies around in that one scene where his scales just kind of frilled out. Yeah, that's in most cases like, yeah, dragons can actually individually move their scales, kind of like frill them out to basically get razor edged outward to basically do a porcupine thing if something comes in contact.
Right. You know, I've seen that iteration a few times, but then like you get other iterations, kind of like, well, an easy one that comes to my mind is Smaug. From the latest, like, Hobbit movies. And it's like, you know, even angered, fucking, he doesn't spike up. Like, well, for lack of a better term, like a cat.
Well, yeah, he frills out like a cat. Because someone actually made a weird, interesting point in a Discord group. Like, dragons kind of react more like cats than any other species besides, like, other lizards. Like, then a lot of people had to explain your work. Well, if you know, it's like cats will tend to, when they're confronted with something, they'll tend to frizz out or frill out and make themselves look bigger. Yeah, same thing with other species of lizards. When they're met with an equal or any other kind of threat, they'll try to puff themselves out to make themselves look bigger. But do the same thing with dragons and their heavy scales. They'll just kind of fan them out like a peacock or something to look like, hey, touch me and you're probably going to hurt yourself kind of deal.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
or it's also just an intimidation factor in other ways, too. Like, look at, going back to Smaug from The Hobbit. You know, it's like, he already outclassed the dwarves fucking, like, 10-1. Fucking, like, one dragon to fucking kill fucking 100 dwarves, fucking given the right circumstances. Hell, the dwarves covered him in gold, and fucking Smaug just kind of laughed and flew off.
Yeah, they dunked his ass in the whole gold, laughed, flew off and was pissed and decided to want to murder everything, but it took like basically a ballista to bring him down.
Right, and that wasn't even by the fucking dwarves. It was by a fucking, like, one human in a fucking town that got basically a beefed up role in the movie. Yeah, because, yeah, ballista's kind of like, it's one of the proper things that has been used to bring down dragons. Yeah, it's a high-powered by interpretation. Yeah. I mean, by Tolkien interpretation is what I'm getting at. It's like, you know, just because it works in one iteration.
Black arrows or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like, you know, and I can see in other iterations of dragons and stuff like that where it's like, you know, fucking, you shot a ballista at a dragon, it'd just laugh at you.
Yeah, like, it's probably lived long enough for its scales to be hardened to be, hey, what was that? What'd you throw at me? Mm-hmm. That's cute. Die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, going into the world of what you're talking about kind of thing. It's like, you know, it's kind of where you gotta set, like, the boundaries and shit like that. Where it's like, oh, these are the rules this world works by.
Right, because just as a species as a base versus going by a different fantasy by fantasies, usually I go by the species as a base, like the baseline of what makes said dragon species versus, oh, this is this iteration of this fantasy or this iteration of this fantasy. I don't do that because then it gets like way too more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah. Soon I'll be unleashed to this realm, this world once again.
So yeah, that's why I say, like, depends on the species, because even a flightless dragon, a drake, depending on if it's like a lightweight class, it doesn't have that much scale padding, but it's built for speed. Midweight class is basically your best of attack and defense. The heavyweight class, they're very slow, but their body's heavily armored. They kind of walk around like a bulldog or like a big frog or something. They're just heavily armored tanks, not built for speed, they're built for heavy defense.
Well, now you have quite the fire boat in your chest. I think that'll add to my nice little collection I've been building here lately.
One step closer to getting my testicles back. Uranus, let that go, man.
Tell me, what do you desire? What do you covet?
I covered as a banana cream pie. And just throw it in his face.
Very fun. But I want you to know, Clarice, that hurt like hell.
Just pie to the face. Just pie to the face. That's all. Like, okay, not bad. All right.
Oh.
I deserve that one.
Such a request is only fitting for one who carries that fire.
Yeah, like dragons and their scales. Hell, a sea serpent of varying kinds wouldn't
Well, even
necessarily
sea serpents are often categorized as dragons in their own right, so...
Yeah, there are sea dragons, sea serpents, leviathans. Either way, goes they're categorized as dragons depending on who's writing said story. But species as a base, they don't really shed their scales. Hell, most things that live in large bodies of water don't shed skin.
Alright, but you could also make the argument, oh, well, it's just the environment that's doing it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Because a dragon in itself can adapt to its environment, given any species in itself.
Yeah, I would say... Right, and that's kind of where I'm getting... Like, yeah, even humans can adapt to an environment to a degree, but it's like, you know, you're not going to get specific changes until you get into, like, generations of adaptation.
Yeah, like given time according to hell. Like, I remember showing you the thing where a shark evolved to have poison barbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it can't adapt and evolve. I do like to see the Jeff Goldblum, like, life found a way, little meme in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2.
Yeah, like, it's... Like, just like how dragons can actually grow feathers and fur, given its environment. Like,
no, I understand that from an adaptation point of view, but yeah.
Like, some species of lizard themselves are able to grow some feather-like hairs on its body when it was introduced into a specific jungle-based environment. Just to sort of blend in with the surroundings to avoid their predators and to catch their prey.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's even kind of like just over time, or even fucking just living in the environment. It's like, you know, your hands will fucking change to match the degree. I know a guy who works in a cooler, and he's got some of the fucking, like, you know, more hard and scaly hands because he works around fucking cold objects all day, so he can't fucking have his hand fucking like ripping apart every time he touches something cold.
Right.
Yeah, that's just a simple, like, lifetime adaptation kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Life finds a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because as I would say, a dragon in an environment devoid of any sort of conflict or combat won't really develop the hardened scales.
Oh, yeah, I mean... I can see the logic behind that. I can also, like... I can almost also see where it's like, you know, the rock biter where he gets more sedentary and he turns harder, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really just kind of depends how you want to lean into it.
Yeah, like... It's like, oh yeah, basically a species growing up in, growing and developing in a docile environment versus a hostile environment.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like the Xeno argument, actually. Although, like, I really wish they had a better answer for, like, how the Xenos were a fucking thing. Like, you know, like, in the original...
Prometheus.
Yeah, besides Prometheus. Prometheus kind of ruined it.
It did.
But even then, they kind of imply that the Xenos from Prometheus are not in the same timeline as the aliens kind of thing.
Well, there are different off-brand species of aliens, is what they put it.
And that's true, and I don't argue that. But I argue they're also not the same.
Pumpkin eater with a shotgun.
I also argue they're not the same timeline because, like, as they're described in the first movie, is like, you know, they were bred and born from a planet so hostile that they were forced to adapt to be what they are. Where in Prometheus and beyond, they were literally like engineered.
Yep.
That's why it's like, and even then, it's like I think they've gone on record to say this is like Prometheus or the Prometheus fucking aliens and the alien aliens are actually two different verses, just like aliens and AVP. Ah, Das. My favorite herald. You know, it was a sad day seeing you fail me. It's fucking taking me forever to find even a suitable replacement.
Just see Olak just laying in the bed like Wolverine with a picture of Loki. I'm Lord Loki's favorite herald. No one else compares.
There's one thing that you always had that he never did. Imagination. And a true joy in your work.
That just likes to hurt people.
I stand on my statement. It is a contextual difference, I'm just saying.
Josh just needs to get a job as a bouncer. There you go. That's all he really needs to do. And he did his job with great glee. Just a bouncer, a security guard, or whatever, just beat the crap out of Alright, okay, yeah,
that's pretty good.
Alright, that's his Mega Mind now. There's one thing you don't have. There's one thing you do not have that I do. That I have that you don't, Olak. And what's that, Oathbreaker? Josh just comes in out of just stairs. Spotlight. Presentation! Explosions behind him. Welcome to the jungle! Just cue the Guns N' Roses in the background.
I can totally see it, not gonna lie. No Halloween.
I mean, Dawson's being very presentful in Halloween.
It's my fucking month, man.
I fully believe if you can find an inflatable jack-o'-lantern large enough, you would cover your fucking house with it.
I don't know about jack-o'-lantern. I did think about the fucking, like, 30-foot skeleton, not gonna lie.
I've seen those at freaking Lowe's.
Home Depot,
I looked at it. I'm like, that's fucking marvelous. That was the first thought in my mind.
I know a guy.
Like, Das would fucking love this.
Oh, I'd leave it up all year.
No shit, it's a 30-foot fucking skeleton. It reaches like your second story fucking window.
Oh, I'd have it terrorizing the house. And when it was fucking time to like change seasons, I'd fucking like put Santa fucking half eaten in his hand. I think I killed Angry. Yeah, no, just put like little fucking like, you know, red paint around the jawline and fucking like half a Santa in the other hand, or a deflated Santa, even better.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think I'm killing Angry.
With shredded reindeer bits all over the lawn.
Oh, absolutely.
And a crushed sleigh underneath the foot.
Yeah, and I'd actually fucking have to like up it a little bit. I'd have to fucking like climb up towards the skull and put lights in it.
You would.
I absolutely would. And with zero remorse.
Like, oh my god. I literally see you dressing up the skeleton every day for a different holiday throughout the year.
Oh, I could have him chasing the Easter Bunny.
I would just like to put this bunny hood with an Easter basket, but the Easter eggs are alive and horrifying.
Nah, it's been overdone. It's like you see a lot of like alien Xeno and then fucking like, you know, Easter eggs and shit like that.
I was gonna say have like the Easter eggs in themselves literally be other small living creatures with like gaping mouths with whatever just spewing out of it.
Alright, so I still like the chasing down the Easter Bunny. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, I could have him like fucking like kneeling down and fucking like sitting to fucking have a drink with a leprechaun. Hey, it's my kind of holiday. I was Cinco de Mayo. You fucking find like a little Mexican.
No. Paint his face like the sugar skull.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you can also do the same thing for like Dia de los Muertos. That would be the sugar skull for Cinco de Mayo or whatever. Put it in later if you can find later. Wasn't big enough for Oktoberfest.
No, fucking that wouldn't be like. I mean, it's doable, but it's like that would be an immense pain in the ass to fucking sit there and like. I would need a crew just to sit there and fucking like get them dressed up in the damn things. Like painting, I can do by myself. If it involves more than 2 people, fucking like. Over 5 minutes, I'm kind of leaning away from it.
For Valentine's Day, you can have him eating a baby Cupid sandwich.
No, fucking, you get a fucking giant like heart-shaped light, and you fucking just put it in his chest.
Heart hands by the chest and anything.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, I'd have so much fun with this fucking thing. I know it costs like $200, but I don't care.
30-foot fucking skeleton. Oh my god.
It appears your time is up, Doss. Please lie there. Don't get up. Take your time. Don't want to break something again. Do we?
You may be able to break his body, but you'll never be able to break his spirit!
All done Scottish for that, hour.
For freedom! Just paint half the side of his face just blue for no reason.
So, like, I'd be half be tempted to fucking do that for fucking Braveheart.
Oh yeah, give Doss a Braveheart costume.
No, I was talking about the 30-foot skeleton.
Oh shit. Or get a very, very long black sheet, big ass Grim Reaper, just looming.
Oh god, again, that falls into like that takes more than 2 people.
I mean, if you can get it to like point at your neighbor's window,
like
and see something, just to fuck with them.
Yeah, it's probably the fucking same jackets that have like a fucking Christmas fiasco. Like their whole fucking like front yard is nothing but Christmas fucking ornaments and shit like that. Yeah. That would be my luck. That would be my neighbor.
No, your neighbor across the street. Oh, they love Christmas. They celebrate it throughout the year. Doss Wiggles with the 30-foot skeleton who celebrates Halloween every day.
It's not a holiday. It's a lifestyle.
You, my natural enemy.
That's right. They've already started thawing out Mariah Carey.
Oh my god, you fucking! I think I posted that meme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
the thawing has begun.
I got it from Trigoat. His ass like sent that to me like, oh look, they're thawing out Mariah Carey. I'm like, oh god. See, the thing that got me, Mariah Carey tried to stake the claim as Queen of Christmas that title belongs to somebody else. Like, lady, just let that shit go. If you can't beat the other chick who literally sang all other Christmas songs with some soul, just let all I want for
Wait, who are
Christmas
you
Eve
talking about? Let's go with this. I'm curious now. Who is your queen of Christmas?
No, Mariah Carey tried to.
Oh, okay. Somebody was trying to come to Mariah Carey. Okay.
No, Mariah Carey was trying to come to somebody, try to literally stake the name and copyright of Queen of Christmas, even though that belongs to somebody else. Like how Michael Jackson is the king of pop, you can't take that away.
Okay, who are you talking about? Who is the Queen of Christmas? Because to me that is... Alright, I'm not defending Mariah Carey. I fucking hate and abhor fucking 90% of the songs that come out around that time. Probably about
It's
95.
just it's mainly the Christmas song.
It
That
doesn't
one-
matter to me. You understand? But who actually owns it? Let's go with that question. Thank you. I was gonna say it's like because I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Give me a second. I'm looking.
누굴 찾는 건지는 모르겠지만 네 앞에 상대는 바로 또 재밌겠군.
There's a trademark battle. Alright, care.
Please tell me it's not Celine Dion.
Oh fuck no, it's not Celine Dion. I would have said it was Celine Dion.
My heart will go on.
That was the only song of Celine Dion that I know of.
So, I'm not gonna lie, fucking, like, one of the things I do like about Supernatural is they even bring that up. That is the song that fucking people know about Celine Dion, and that's about it.
That is the song people know from Celine Dion. Period. Because, oh, Titanic is such a good romantic movie.
It's also
How is it
fucking horrible.
It's actually fucking horrifying because the lady telling the story was literally on the Titanic. And she was literally just... They paid her to embellish as much as she could.
Yeah. Well, not only that... Okay, we're getting into fucking weird shit here. Fucking... So, like...
Welcome to Dueling Dragons. We get into weird shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm aware, trust me. Okay, so what I was getting at is, like... So, like, when she was telling that story, did she get into the saucy bits with, like, her fucking, like, nailing fucking Jack in the car? 'Cause I'm curious at this point.
I mean, if you're paid to tell your life story because you survived this great tragedy, you would embellish as much as you possibly can.
Embellish or not? That's my question. Is like, what are we talking about? Are we talking, like, romantic fucking thing where it's like, you know, I'm reading this fucking H. Doja in the fucking bathtub kind of thing? It's like, is that what we're talking about here? Because that's kind of what it sounds like sometimes.
Yes, and the person reading it is Morgan Freeman, the sultry sound.
Just saying, man. It's like, is this the realm we're talking about? Because, like, it's not made clear in the movie.
It really isn't.
You see my point?
Okay, she tried to take the title from a lady named Elizabeth Chan, who exclusively sings varying Christmas songs. Like her, as well as it was Elizabeth Chan and Darlene Love. Like those two, they literally are specifically.
Wait, so there's two Queens of Christmas also.
Well, no, executive producer and the person that actually sings the songs. That's what I was about to get at the breakup.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because Darlene's the one who actually sings, like, straight up, like, you know, Christmas songs, and Elizabeth Chan's the one that actually was the...
Who puts it all together and makes it sound nice.
Yeah. Basically,
Okay.
the two halves who work together to do the thing, and they were just doing it just for fun, sometimes for charity, just for, like, you know, bring Christmas to, like, you know, whatever. And Mariah Carey wants the title Queen of Christmas just for the one fucking song that we all know and hear every fucking year.
To be fair, it's like she has gotten more play. I'm not defending it. That is not my point here.
I know. Yeah, it's because just because she wanted to trademark Queen because it's just because the one song.
Oh yeah, I mean,
just the one song. Like, didn't do a whole Christmas album with varying songs, varying artists. None, just the one song. And Mariah Carey actually took longer to actually be on the train and do to want her song to be on a Christmas album with other artists, with like the Temptations doing Silent Night, the Jackson 5 songs. I know they did a couple of Christmas songs, and all like various other. She was like a whole like just holding out because one of those lines. He had this whole ego mentality of why do I have to be
annoying. Or not so faster.
Yeah, but yeah, that whatever would be considered legal dispute is just still going on for whatever reason.
Really?
Yeah, because she really wants the title of Queen of Christmas.
Well, I mean, if you got the money to do it.
Sad part is she's trying and not winning.
Fair enough. She's getting none of this.
She's getting to your levels of stubbornness, especially with you not getting the title of King of Halloween.
I'm just saying, it's like I don't understand why fucking Jack is King of the Pumpkin Patch.
The exact same. Okay. Now replace all that with Mariah Carey in your position and put that as Queen of Christmas.
But he's not a pumpkin.
I know.
How are you gonna be King of the Pumpkin Patch and not a pumpkin?
And you see where this dispute just kind of gets weird now, right?
Same.
Yeah. Like partial nonsense in there for some reason. I think Mariah Carey should just be grateful that people bother to play her Christmas songs.
What do you mean bother? It's forced upon us.
Let me finish. Please. You should just be grateful people bother to play her Christmas songs and that she gets paid for it every time.
Stand on the statement.
Yeah, I know, it's forced upon us, but she still gets paid just because we end up playing the stupid ass. Oh, he's like, I'm so sick of hearing it.
You know what I'm
Trying to express my rage, but I'm also trying to go into a coffin fit.
No. Okay. Rules of the world are different. So fucking yeah, you can even make the argument. Yeah, it's like you don't have to be a pumpkin to fucking be King of the Pumpkin Patch because it's never stated in fucking Halloween Town lore that you have to be. But to me, as fucking a person who watched this shit, I'm sitting there like, doesn't 1 + 1 equal 2? I know you're not really supposed to do that with Disney shit in general.
Tim Burton plus Disney.
You know, so I get it. Yeah, there's arguments to be had both ways. And I hear dying again.
I'm here, kind of sort of. Not dying entirely. It's just the thing with the 30-foot skeleton kind of got me going, laughing way too hard than it needs to be. Excuse me. But I will need some water later.
Could hang a little Santa hat off his tooth.
Oh my god, shut up. But, yeah. Her, whatever, trying to throw money at the problem to get the title from... It's more as they're trying to force it off. Well, if she wants the title specifically for herself because, oh, they all play my song. It's forced upon everybody because they play the damn song so much. So literally, bugger off.
I heard Oh! Why did that appear? Oh, I hit the glossary button by accident.
Yo, the glossary button. That thing
yeah, that I've never
uses.
used so far because it's
until now.
It's not that complicated. Like, there's different towns, there's different empires, obviously. Fucking, there's wonders, which I still think it's a bad name for, but hey, I'm not the one who came up with this world.
I mean, it was there for people trying to get more Dungeon Fighter Online lore and all that stuff about the world around them.
Wonder just feels like a fucking first draft to me. It really does, and I don't like it.
It's a first draft that no one really bothers to try and correct along the way.
Yeah,
they just kept going.
Right, and I get it. It's like, you know, I'm getting the short version of all of this story because I'm playing the fighting version of it. But I do feel like you could have cleaned that up a little bit.
I mean, sometimes the first draft of something or other, whatever name, doesn't really get changed in any way, shape, or form down the lines until you realize by the time you reach to the very end, like, I've never changed the name of a thing here. This one thing here.
Well, actually, this is gonna sound stupid, but you remember Shrek, right?
Yeah.
You know the main fucking theme, fucking All-Star?
Yeah.
That was a placeholder.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
And
it's
it
like,
just basically stuck because they kind of never really got around to actually changing it.
Yeah, they never got around to changing it, but it's like as the project grew and grew and grew, and again, actually, fucking, this is kind of a fun story with Shrek. Fucking Shrek was actually a punishment to work on. I don't know if you heard that part.
That's new.
Alright, yeah, no. So at the time, fucking, I want to say it was Pixar, or was it DreamWorks? DreamWorks, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, DreamWorks was working on other, like, high-scale projects, more like artsy, fancy stuff. I forget exactly what they were talking about on the table. But, they're like, oh, well, if you're not really fucking, like, making it work here or something like that, they're like, oh, well, it's like, well, we got this other, like, kind of shit project that's kind of sitting off in the side called Shrek that you can go work on. Guess which one made the more lasting effect?
I want to say the one that was basically the good idea.
I forgot. That's a thing, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the one that became the good idea of basically all the memes of the entire world of the series.
Hey, yes, no. Shrek was, unfortunately, just as the fucking, like, creative division on it, was kind of an amalgamation of a lot of shit. Like, it started as something completely different, and then fucking just kept growing.
And then it basically became...
You've given me the power to whack you! You fool! But yeah, since they had all these quote-unquote fucking people that's like, oh, well, you're not really working out here fucking for, like, artistic or fucking whatever fucking reason.
So we're gonna keep demoting you to different positions until you leave on your own accord. Yeah,
not even leave, just fucking, it's like, oh, well, it's like, you can work on shittier projects, that kind of thing. And, yeah. So they had all these misfits that fucking came together, and it's like, alright, let's make a movie.
Hey, like, at a certain point, misfits tend to work together.
Exactly, and that's essentially what happened. It's like, you know, the whole team fucking got together and fucking made something fantastic. Granted, some of the later movies were kind of, what the fuck, but still.
After the second Shrek movie, I just kind of like, I'm wondering what the hell are they doing afterwards.
Shrek 3 is not horrible. I think it's Shrek 4 where it really falls off.
Shrek the 4th?
Yeah. I think that's the one with Rumpelstiltskin.
Shrek the 4th.
Okay, then yeah.
Like the second movie, it was like they're just tossing in more and more memes accordingly, and like I didn't mind it. But after like movie 3, when they were going about trying to find Kid Arthur.
Well, the second one I can see is like a nice follow-up. Like, for lack of a
sense, yeah, from the first movie.
For lack of a better term, it's like, you know, it's the Alien to Aliens kind of thing. Whereas, like, you know, this happened, so this would be the eventual fallout of this. And it's like, I kind of see the two kind of connected.
Yeah, movie 2, you can't always fault movie 2 from everything that exists in movie 1.
Right. But then movie 3 is actually where they busted out some creative chops again, and actually it's a fairly solid movie, I'd argue. But then the fourth one happened, and it's like, okay, now we're done.
Now you're just screwing around by this point, just because you can.
Although, actually, I think there's a new Puss in Boots movie coming.
There's it's either a movie or some sort of Netflix series. It's one or the other.
Which, I will say, is like, I watched the Puss in Boots movie, and I was actually kind of impressed. That was actually fucking really good, in my opinion. It actually got one of the fucking...
Humpty Dumpty, and he was always there in the
yeah,
background.
that's one of the longer running jokes for me, is like, I've always been there.
I've always been there, Das. Always there. Yeah, and everyone person always there is freaking Olaf. His big ass.
That was the whole point. It's like the entire point of that joke was to just to fucking put Olaf in weird shit and make it happen.
Catsuit Olaf. Like, that is not a cat. That is a big ass tiger now.
No. The best one, fucking, like, going off that whole thing was like, you know, you do the fucking
birds.
cut by cut. Well, the birds was good too, but it's like, no, the one where it's like Humpty was in the fucking cat suit. Olaf was the couch in that scene.
Wow. Okay. Shit.
I put thought into this.
Or him being dragged off by birds.
Oh yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's like in the fucking in the movie you see Humpty get flown off by birds. In my interpretation of it, you just see, like, you know, Olaf lift up both his arms and like the birds like drag him because they can't lift him.
He's so fucking heavy.
I'm not gonna lie, it's hilarious in my head. I'm just saying. That's why I like Olaf so much as a character, because there's just so much you can do with him. Like Olaf with the weather. Oh my god, Olaf with the weather is the funniest shit to me.
And now here's Olaf with the weather. It gon' rain.
No, that's the Family Guy thing.
I know.
I was like, you know, there's like, hey, now look at the Olaf with the weather. It's like, oh, so Olaf, what's the weekend look like? The skies will rain red with the blood of Das Wiggles as we fail, or as he fails to quench the fucking never-ending fountain that is Loki's goodwill on humanity.
I'm sure to pack my umbrella then.
Shit like that. It's like, this is why I love Olaf. Olaf's so fucking fun.
Yeah, must explain why every time you play some sort of fighting game, we find the Olaf there.
Not always. Like, again though, like, I'm not saying, yeah, it's not uncommon, because, again, a heavy-clad, armored character is usually in the roster somewhere.
A really big dude, for whatever reason, just seems to be there.
Right, there's always one in the roster somewhere.
Must be Olaf, probably.
I mean, even in this roster, the heavy character is the cleric, which, fucking, that was just a little too fitting, I'm not even gonna lie.
Not the cleric. Try again. Crusader.
Oh, Crusader. Excuse me. I thought it started with Crusader, so. Anyway, but yeah, it's like the Crusader was just fucking like, oh my god, that's fucking perfect. I don't even have to fucking try. The goodwill of Loki will fucking wash over you like a storm.
No. You don't get to say that.
Oh, is that where we're going? That's the deal breaker.
Yes.
Alright. I am going to probably just power through the next one and see where it goes from there. So that we can at least still do a little bit of Grindhouse. Not to be a human. God. Can't you see he was struck even by the Nerf pipe and he's still competitive?
God. He wasn't hit. They used him to hit the Nerf pipe. Crusader just grabbed his ass, like, just smacking him against the friggin' Nerf pipe. Like, that's not how it's supposed to work. Well, it's working now.
I will remember you. Like you could ever forget me.